Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Off-Road Hub. Thank you so much for joining me. Today I am still just outside of Las Cruces, New Mexico, and I'm going to do one more of these Chile Challenge trails. This one is called Sandia Gulch. It says it's rated a 7, but I'm not totally confident in these rating systems. The last trail I did was an 8, but somebody else said that this trail is harder than that one, so who really knows? The only way to find out is to go and do it. And you know, the other thing about these trails that are in washes is that they change constantly, and so it could be really easy or it could be really hard. They change, and people don't track them that closely. There's not a ton of traffic out here, I don't think. So anyways, Sandia Gulch, let's go see what it has to offer. It's the kind of late January here in New Mexico. You may have noticed a little bit of snow in the shadows. We got just a tiny bit of snow last night, a little bit of rain, and so it gets cold even down here. We are, man, really far south, but still, it still gets cold. I think it's because of the elevation. I think we're about, I don't know, 4,000 feet or so. So we're climbing up this gulch, and nothing too difficult yet. I know that there are a couple of good obstacles on this trail. There's a big waterfall at the end, which is, I believe, optional. And somewhere along the way here, there's a giant rock in the middle of the trail that can be a challenge to get around. So looking forward to that. So far, pretty much just a rocky wash surface. Some of the level 4 rated trail to get out to this level 7 rated trail was harder than what I've seen so far. Again, the rating systems are not entirely accurate on these trails, and they're always changing. I had traveled quite a bit up the trail, and I was starting to get worried that this was going to be too easy. Well, that was wrong. This trail lived up to the 7 rating and then some. These are pretty big boulders. Having a spotter would make this easier and safer for the vehicle. Never go wheeling alone, especially on a trail you're unfamiliar with. that rock that I mentioned being difficult to get around, well, this was it. And it didn't really do any serious damage, but I did hit the corner of my bumper here pretty hard. Tweaked it in just a little bit. Right there, just pushed it in just a hair. So you can see on this side it's flat. So, but I'm pretty sure I'm gonna have to cut that off anyways with my upcoming modifications. As I mentioned earlier, it had snowed the night before. I was nervous that I wouldn't be able to do this trail because of the snow. Fortunately, there wasn't too much, but it made these rocks just a little extra slippery. Even with my front locker on, I wasn't climbing this rock from this angle. So I thought maybe I can just drive around. No such luck. My door went right into that rock. Time to get out and assess the situation. So I hit the rock a little bit more straight on and took a bigger bite, and I managed to climb it. But it's a big rock. Well, I'd call that the hardest part of the trail so far. You can't really go on the side of that rock because it'll stab your door, and getting on top of it, I guess with the snow, makes it a little harder, but pretty rough. It did poke my door, and right here. So another scar on the door there. From this point on, the trail never really lets up. The rocks are big and the trail is narrow. This was not going to be easy. This is a pretty nasty little obstacle. It is not bypassable. Just gotta climb between these two rocks here. There are quite a few rocks stacked on this side, but still a pretty nasty looking obstacle. Well, that definitely got me all twisted up. Man, my rear bumper is getting a workout today. No actual damage on that clunk at the end, but geez, I'm not sure a plastic bumper on the back of an FJ Cruiser would, a stock plastic bumper would survive this trail. This obstacle is completely optional. It's very steep, tall, and uneven. I had some issues finding my footing on this one. It felt like the FJ wanted to keep sliding sideways. This was a challenge that I didn't want to give up on, so I took a few shots at it, trying to feel out a good line. See that sideways slide? That didn't feel encouraging. That's a pretty vertical climb. I feel like I gave it a pretty good shot without going crazy. I don't have a spotter, so I think just more skinny pedal probably is not a good idea because I can't really see what's going on. But I gave it a shot, felt it out, and I just don't think it's very safe. I'm out here in the middle of nowhere, many miles from the nearest person, so I don't really feel like rolling off of that thing out here by myself. Here's the bypass for that. From what I had gathered, I thought that was the end of the trail. Not true. There were quite a few rocky sections to cover still before I climbed out of this canyon and back up onto the access trail. There's just one last ledge at the end of the trail, and it's no slouch. Sandia Gulch does not let you off easy. Well, there you have it, Sandia Gulch. You can see the gulch that we were down in there, and we came all the way through there. It's rated a 7, as you can see here. But if you compare it to trails like Amatista ledges, this is not a 7. It should definitely be an 8. It's more difficult than the 8 trails that I've done here. So definitely more technical, boulders that can really screw with you, cause a little bit of body damage if you're out here by yourself and don't have a spotter. So anyways, I mean, it's a really fun trail, but it's definitely difficult. If you ever get a chance to check out these Chile Challenge trails, I highly recommend it. There's tons of awesome trails here to do in New Mexico. Check it out. If you had a good time on Sandia Gulch, give me a like and subscribe if you haven't already, so I can take you on a new adventure every Monday and Thursday. We'll see you next time.